Greetings, greetings. Welcome to Arse Action for Andrew, part 3. So today we're going to start off on our backs. So if you'd like to crack on and come down to lying on your back. So we're going to lie on our backs and we're going to take our feet so they're hip width apart, and you can just check that they're running straight. You want the feet, the toes to be pointing straight forward, and then you want the legs to be staying parallel. You want that even pressure through the feet. I like to spread my toes, so I like to pick up my little toe, spread my toes, and then plant everything down. And then you can have a little notice. You could push through the pads of the toes, notice what that feels like. Check in with the heels, notice what that feels like. And then draw the shoulders down away from the ears. Draw the chin just towards the chest a smidge, so you get length through the back of the neck and that lovely space at the base of the skull. And then we're going to start this by having a look at our hip movement. So if you just pop your hands onto your hips, you might find those knobbly bits. And we're going to tuck our tailbones under. So you're tucking the tailbone under, you're posteriorly tilting the pelvis. And as you do that, you get a sense of the lower back really flattening and pushing into the mat. And then you can just release that off. Let the natural lumbar curve return. Take an inhale and then go again. Exhale, tuck the tailbone under, posterior pelvic tilt. And this time you might notice where the muscles start to engage when you do that. You might get a little bit of a sense of this lower belly engaging a bit, and maybe a bit of bottom. Inhale, release. And then exhale, go again. Notice what it feels like. Notice the sensations and release. Inhale. Exhale, go again. And then just release and let the weight come into the body. Let the shoulders get heavy. You might think about the back rib cage getting heavy. And then we're going to take our attention to our right shin. And you're going to think about the right shin traveling forward towards the toes on the right foot. And as you do that, so if you take a nice deep inhale, and then as you exhale, that right shin moves forward. And as you do that, you should feel the right hip moving forward a little bit too. Try and keep the legs parallel. And you might feel the left hip moving back a little bit. Just notice. Inhale and pause, and then exhale, release. Let it all come back to where you started. Take another inhale. This time the left shin goes forward, and you'll feel hopefully the left hip going forward and the right hip going back. Hold an inhale. And then exhale. Bring it all back. And we'll go again. Inhale. Exhale the right shin forward. Notice the movement in the hips. Inhale and hold. Release as you exhale. So you're moving on the exhale, you're holding on the inhale. Next exhale, left shin. Feel the movement in the hips. Okay, and then coming all the way back. Check in with your feet again. We're going to start to roll up into bridge. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under and flatten the lower back against the mat. And then you're thinking about peeling yourself off the mat, keeping your legs parallel and sending the knees out over towards the toes as you come up. And then you're trying to drive your hips as high as you can. And you'll notice as the hips get higher, hopefully the bottom has to engage a little bit more. So we've got the glute max on with that lifting of the hips. If your hips are too low down, your legs take it all and your arse switches off. So you need the hips high. And then when you get as high as you can get, check that your feet are pressing firmly down. So often people like roll onto the outside of their feet, they lift their toes up, press everything down into the mat. Keep driving the hips high. And then without moving the feet, draw the feet in towards you. And as you do that, you should really feel the glute max and the hamstrings switch on. So we're just going to hold this for a few breaths. You're really pulling those feet in with the maximum amount of effort as you can, and your bottom and your hamstrings are on like a bear. And then we're just going to drop the back ribs down. So drop the back ribs down for a moment. Take an inhale. And then push them all the way back up as you exhale. And we'll do that again. Drop the back ribs down. Inhale. And then push them all the way back up. So you're really feeling this. The glute max, have to drive the hips back up. Once more, drop down, back rib cage comes down, and then push yourself back up. And then we're going to roll down, have a little moment. So drop the back rib cage, see how much of your spine you can get, like cog by cog meeting the floor, vertebrae by vertebrae. And as you come down, notice as you release that natural lumbar curve return. And we'll take the right knee in and then the left knee. And we'll just have a little rock from side to side. And then you might just flex the feet and extend the legs up to the sky. Bend the knees, pop the feet back down. So you want those feet hip width apart and parallel again, toes pointing straight forward. We're going to roll up into bridge. So you're tucking the tailbone under, sending the knees out over the toes. Hips are high. You're driving the hips high with the bottom. You're noticing as the bottom comes on. And then this time, we're going to lift the right heel and the right hip. And you're going to draw the left toes to the ceiling and suck the left hip down. You want to keep the legs parallel. And then we're going to swap over. So you pop the right heel down and suck the right hip down as you lift the toes. And then you're lifting the left heel off and you're driving the left hip up towards the sky. We're going to swap this over. Swap over, send the right hip up, pull the left hip down, swap over, boom. And again, swap over. Feel the buttocks engage as you send the hip high. You've also got some glute med happening here. And again. And then one more round. Right hip goes up. And then the left hip. And then pop the feet back down. Drive the hips to the sky. Draw the heels in, the feet in without moving the feet. So you really engage the hamstrings and the glute max. Take a nice deep inhale and then drop yourself down cog by cog by cog, all the way down. Bring the knees in, one and then the other, and have a little zhuzh, a little rockety-roo. Flex the feet, send the legs up to the ceiling, stretch out those hamstrings. Might as well let's have some circles with the ankles while we're up there. They might as well have a little loosen up. Go the other way. Nice. Bend the knees, pop the feet back down. Just take the feet so they're mat width apart and drop the knees down to the right. Push through the inside edge of the left foot. Send the left knee away. Get that stretch through the left side. You might extend your left arm up. Breathe into the left side. You can feel the left glute engaging as you push through the inside edge of that left foot. And you get a nice stretch through the hippage. Bring yourself back up. As you do so, think about a tailbone tuck, because the tailbone tuck will help you engage both your bottom and this lower belly. And then make your way over to the other side. You might stretch up through the right arm, push through the inside edge of that right foot. Find the glute on the right side, making the effort to push you into that stretch. Boom. And then bring yourselves back. Walk your feet back in so they're hip width apart and parallel. Just find your position again. Arms down by your side. So this time we're going to bring the right knee in to the chest. We're going to try and keep the hips as level as possible. You're going to drive through the left foot, and as you come up, you're going to send the left knee out over the toes. Inhale, take the right toes up to the ceiling, and then bend the knee and roll yourself back down. Put the foot down. Left knee comes in. Prepare for lift off. The right knee goes out over the toes. Drive the hips high. Check that your hips are level. Inhale, the left leg up. Point the toes to the ceiling. And then bend the knee and roll yourself back down. Swap over. Come back. Bring the right knee in. Roll yourself up. Toes to the ceiling. Bring the leg in. Roll yourself back down. Left side again. Bring it in. Right knee goes out over those toes. Inhale, takes the toes to the ceiling. Drive the hips high. Bend the knee. Roll yourselves back down. Again. Right knee in. Up you go. Drive those hips high. Boom. Okay. Now, we're going to go up again. So we're going to bring the right knee in and we're rolling up again. Extend the leg up to the sky. And then we're going to flex the foot and bring the leg down so the thighs are parallel. Point the toes away and bring the leg back up to the ceiling. Flex and down. Point, come back up. Flex and down. Point, back up. 2 more. Flex, down. Point. 1 more. Boom. Bring the leg in. Bring it down so you're still in bridge. Press through the feet and drive the hips high. Draw the feet in towards the bottom without moving them. And then roll yourself down. Bring the left leg in. Boom, roll yourself up. Stretch the toes up. Flex the foot. Bring the leg down. The legs are parallel. Point, come back up. Flex, down, point, up, flex, down, point, up, flex, down, lost count, point up, I think that's it. Bring the leg down, find the feet, drive the hips high, draw the feet in towards the bottom without moving them, and then slowly roll yourselves down. Bring your knees in. Have a little rock. Flex the feet. Extend the legs up to the sky. And then pop them down. Take the feet so they're mat width apart. Drop them down to the right. The knees. Extend up through the left arm. So windscreen wipers. Push through the inside edge of the left foot. Feel the left buttock activate. Ooh, and the stretch in the left hip arch. Use your belly, that tailbone tuck, or the thought of the tailbone tuck to engage that lower belly. Head over to the left. Stretch up with the right arm. Push through the inside edge of the right foot. Stretch up, stretch up, stretch up. Feel the bottom, the effort in the right buttocks. Boom. And then bring yourselves back. Bring your knees in. And then have a little rock. Okay, I've got one more, which is quite nice in this little set. So we're going to tuck the tailbone under and roll all the way up. And then we're going to extend the right leg up to the sky. And then you're going to bend the right knee and you're going to slot it behind the left knee. And push through the left foot and lift the left hip up. And then we come back. Inhale, take it up. Exhale, slot it down. Lift the hip. Inhale, bring it up. And then slot the baby down. Lift the hip. Let's do two more. Inhale. And again. And then bringing it up. Pop the foot down. Drive through the feet. Lift the hips. Draw the feet in towards the bottom. And we'll take the left leg up. Stretch the left toes to the ceiling. Bend the knee. Slot it down. Push through the right foot. Have a nice little stretch. And again, inhale, takes the leg up. Exhale, brings it down. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. One more. Inhale. And exhale. Bring it up. Bend the knee, pop the knee down, drive down through the feet, lift the hips to the sky, draw the feet in towards the bottom. And then I really like this as a way of coming down. So take a nice deep inhale. And as you exhale, just drop a cog. And then inhale again. Exhale, drop another cog. Inhale again. Drop a cog. Inhale. Exhale. So you've got 17 to find, and I think we've done 4. Because you've got 12 thoracic vertebrae and 5 lumbar, so we're trying to incorporate, trying to feel the movement in all those vertebrae. Try and keep the legs parallel. I've obviously completely lost count now. I'm going to pretend I'm on 8. And then when you bring yourself down to the floor, just notice as that natural lumbar curve returns. Find the weight in your body. You might just extend the legs out, draw the shoulders down away from the ears, and have a handful of breaths here, noticing the weight of the body. Boom. So that, my friends, was Arse Action 3, which was mostly glute max and hamstrings in a supine position in bridge pose. Enjoy, enjoy. Arse Action 4 is on its way.